What's up? Welcome back, guys. Cage Cast. I'm Mike. It's Monday, so that means it's time to recap the fight night, that Hill versus Rountree, and then we're going to do some early predictions on the UFC 317 coming up. And then on Wednesday, guys, I'll go ahead and put the final DraftKings bets down on those picks. Now, I do like to watch the pressers. I do like to watch the weigh-ins before we give those final bets. Plus, I'm also going to have Jason and Old Whitey on later this week, Wednesday. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the fights, and maybe they can change my mind on my picks, as well as maybe the betting odds will change a little bit. Let's go ahead and pull those fights up. I've got the 317 card here. Let's go ahead and pull up the Rountree. Now, guys, if you were paying attention last week, I said this was a coin flip. Odds makers had this a coin flip. On paper, this was a coin flip. However, the fan in me, I told you guys, Rountree. I wanted Rountree to win this. I was kind of sick of Jamal Hill. I was thinking maybe Jamal Hill does have this, though. He had some great points. You know, the fight math doesn't always equal up. Yeah, Khalil did better against Pereira, but if we're doing math, Jamal Hill knocked out some opponents that beat Rountree. So it kind of evened out. And I was thinking if it stayed standing up, that maybe Jamal Hill had the reach and the length to get it done. However, when they showed up into the fight, I immediately was like, wow, Rountree is looking shredded. I wasn't expecting him to look so big. And then Jamal just kind of looked out of shape, like he really didn't prepare to be there, or he was overlooking Rountree, which in my opinion was a bad move because at the end, Khalil got it done. Now, Jamal looked a little surprised when the decision came in there, but besides the first half of the first round, I had Jamal Hill losing every single round. He got knocked down multiple times in a couple rounds. In boxing, that would have been in 10-8. So with that kind of mentality going on, I definitely had Jamal Hill losing, if not all 5 rounds. He lost at least 4 of those and just looked like he didn't need to be there. Looked out of place. Didn't really even look like a top contender. And Khalil looked like he was ready to challenge for a title again. So props to Khalil Rountree. He got it done. He showed me wrong. I had a little under $10 on that fight. But guess what, guys? We still have $200 going in to the 317 card plus the 20 I put on there. So $220 going into some good bets this weekend. Now, I've got the card pulled up here, and I'm going to give my early predictions. However, guys, I'm not going to go ahead and place those bets until Wednesday. I'm going to get on with Old Whitey and Jason this week. We're going to go ahead and discuss these fights. They're going to try to change my mind, and then I'm going to go ahead and place $220 worth of bets. And I've already kind of got it mentally planned out. That could change after I watch the pressers and the weigh-ins. That being said, look at the card, guys. Get in the comments. Let me know. Who do you guys have? And remember, we bet on all 5 of the main card, with a minimum bet being $20 on any given fighter, and then we can go up to whatever we've got. So we got $220. So most likely we're going to be betting much more than 20 on each person. But let's go ahead and jump into those early prediction, guys. The first fight of the night, we're going to open it up with Talbot versus Lima. Now, on paper, these guys have very similar stats, similar age, same weight. Talbot has a 2-inch reach advantage or an 1.5-inch reach advantage. Not much. Does have a slight reach advantage, though, over Lima. Now, on paper, you would say Talbot. So with the early predictions, I'm leaning Talbot. I'm going to wait and see what the fight odds and, again, what the pressers and all that look like. See if anybody is looking unfocused or who looks a little bit more focused. That being said, the fan in me says Moricano. I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing with the podcast stuff, too. Props to that. But the fight analytics guy in me says Dariush can get this done. He is dangerous. He is a good all-around fighter. And he was talking trash about Islam, saying that he thinks he could have beat Islam if he would have had the chance to step up on late notice or short notice. Now, early on, I'm going to also say Dariush. Now, this Joshua Van, everybody's saying that Roy Vol has maybe lost his edge. I think he's on a tear. Everybody's saying that Joshua Van's got this. I'm also leaning Royval. I think I'm leaning Pantoja. And I think I'm leaning Charles Oliveira. Now, again, these could change. Again, and that's mostly the fan in me saying Royval over there. I do like what he's been doing lately. He's beat some really good opponents. This right here could actually be a contender fight here. And I'm all for it. Now, Joshua Van does have a way to get this done. If he keeps it on the feet, keeps his distance, and picks it apart, he can get a decision. But when it comes to all aroundness, I think Royval has a little bit more experience and is going to get that done. Pantoja, man, he's the flyweight guy right now. Kai France is really good. Definitely has a puncher's chance. But the way Pantoja has just been wrapping everybody up, I think Pantoja gets one or two more fights, and then maybe we see him go up against Merab, which would be a great fight as well. I think Merab mauls him, but I would still like to see it. I think it's going to be a lot closer than some of the fights Merab's had. Now, if Kai France can get this done, there are a lot of fights for him. He can have Royval. They could get Pantoja an immediate rematch. They got who's the guy who came from Ryzen? Sakura. He can jump in there. There's a ton of fights at that weight class that can be done. So I do think Pantoja keeps the title. I think he keeps his reign. I think we get him one more fight after this. He cleans the division, goes up to featherweight. Now, Ilia Topuria coming up and fighting Oliveira. Obviously, this guy packs a punch. Topuria, and Charles Oliveira eats punches. So, I mean, Oliveira could get slept. But, I mean, Oliveira does have the tenacity to come back. Typically, he gets dropped. He comes back and he wins these fights. And it's pretty nice. That could be what's going on here, guys. But you know me, 2025, undefeated fighters got to lose. So I'm going against Topuria. That has come back to bite me a couple times, but majority of these, the guy with the undefeated record has lost. I think if Topuria loses, he either goes down or he fights Paddy the Baddy. We'll have to see how that plays out. If he wins, I'd love to see him go against Paddy the Baddy and then go up and fight Islam if Islam gets it up there at 170. Now, if Islam loses and Topuria gets it, then hey, there's another super match right down there at lightweight with Topuria versus Islam. So a lot of good fights coming up. But again, just to recap what I'm thinking here, I'm thinking Talbot, Dariush, Royval, Pantoja, Charles Oliveira. Guys, get on the notification bell so you know when the next video drops, because I will have old Whitey and Jason on. Get in the comments, who do you guys have on these 5 fights? Do you think Morikano takes Dariush? Because the fan in me says that. The analytics guy in me says Dariush. Same thing with the fan in me says Van gets it done, but the analytics guy in me says Royval's on a tear and he can get it done too. Again, guys, it really depends on who's showing up and what mental state they're showing up in. So that's what I really want to see, guys. I want to see over the week. I want to see how they handle the pressers. I want to see how they handle the weigh-ins. And then we'll get in here Wednesday and I'll make those final bets. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Help me grow the channel. And I'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.